Yo, 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 what is up, my fallopian tuber? Cesario from the barrio coming back at you with another video for your butt. And today I got a video response for Raven Rips. Alright, Raven Rips, she does like wrestling, Garbage Pail Kids, and all kinds of cool stuff, bands and stuff. And so her video is band related, but I'm loving all the VRs out there right now, man. I remember like a year ago, if anybody remembers, I was doing Community News, and I really wanted to do that to promote video responses, and I did like a few, and then like the next week there wasn't any more video responses, so I kind of stopped that whole thing. The train stopped on the Community News, and I stopped doing it. So I'm really glad all these video responses are coming out. Congratulations on everybody hitting these milestones. You know, it's awesome. I remember my first 100 subs, and so this is Raven Rip's first 100 subs, and so she's having a giveaway, and she wants you to talk about like music, why you love music, or a concert story and stuff like that. So real quick, I'm gonna do mine. All right. First concert I ever went to. And I remember when I first saw this, I was like, only thing I could think about in my head really was my Kiss concert. But I was like, wait, and then I thought about it more. My first concert was an MC Hammer concert that my dad took me to when I was like 16 or 17. I don't remember. But we went, he took his girlfriend, my parents were divorced, so he took his girlfriend and her kids, and we went, and that was my first concert, so I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was just going to be MC Hammer. But the opening acts were like Eazy-E and W.A., Dr. Dre, the DOC, Michelle A., Tony. It was like, whoa. It was like, I didn't, it was, so I was impressed. I was impressed. It was pretty cool. The next concert I think I went to, man, was probably the Kiss concert. I went to with my friend. My friend worked at Toyota dealership in the car wash department, and they were having a promotion where when you wash your car, you got like 4 free Kiss tickets for their farewell tour. This was their farewell tour. I don't remember what year it was, 95, 96, whatever it was. And apparently it was at the Glen Hale Pavilion, but a lot of people he would give the car wash to, and he'd give them the tickets, and they didn't want them. So he ended up with like, hundreds of Kiss concert tickets. So we went. Uh, my friend Zach, Isaac, they weren't really Kiss fans, but they wanted to go party. My friend Eric, he knew who Kiss was, listened to him a little bit, but he wasn't a huge fan. But I was like, I'm down, let's go, we're going. And I knew Kiss when I lived in so many apartments, and there was always, I remember my friend Sam, who was my age, he had older brothers that were just Kiss fanatics. Their whole room was all Kiss. So we went to the concert. I remember going and thinking we're just gonna go and then go in and drink inside. But when we got to the parking lot, it was just a party in the parking lot. So we actually paid for parking twice, because we paid for parking to go in. We left. There was no coming in and out, but we left. So when we came back, we had to pay for parking again. But we went to the liquor store and bought beer and zigzags, and man, we were just partying it up, man. We were partying it up outside for so long. And then once we heard that historical entrance, the hottest band in the world, you wanted the best, you got the best. Then we started walking in. My friend Eric, who actually got the tickets, man, he was already wasted. And I gotta say, that's like one of the first times where we went to go party, and we basically had to carry my friend in to the concert instead of carrying him out because he was too drunk. But he was gone. But we got in, and we had like the cheapest seats. We were way in the back, like in the grass section. And my friend Eric was so drunk, he was passed out. So we leaned him by the snack bar, and we just took his wallet and took his gold chains and whatever he had that could be stolen. We took it away, and we basically left him there on the grass. Just left him there by the snack bar, and we took off, man. And what we wanted to do was, we were like set on, we're gonna go all the way to the front. We're gonna go all the way to the front. And little by little, there was sections. The concert had like fenced out sections. We got past one to the next, and when it got dark, we were by this speaker tower. This tower that had the speakers, and these dudes were starting a fire by there. And so everybody was just grabbing stuff, whatever they could, benches, whatever, chairs, and throwing it into the fire, and the fire was getting bigger. And this dude started climbing up the speaker tower, and my friends were like, "Go for it, Krim! Go for it, Krim! Go up the speaker! Go climb the towers! Get up to the speaker!" And I was like, oh, "All right, you know." And I started climbing the tower, and when I started climbing the tower, you just see security. You know, then you get a bird's eye view, and you see security running towards you. I was like, "Holy shit!" And there was the guy that went before me. He was already at the top, and I was trying to go join him, but once I saw the security, I was like, "Oh shit!" Went down, ran into the crowd, mixed up, and then I saw the security go up and arrest him, get him down, and arrest him. But my friend Isaac, well, there were these two brothers, Zach and Isaac. I didn't have a cell phone back then. You know, it seemed like normally only drug dealers or rich people had cell phones back then, and my friends kind of fell in that category. One of them, you pick it. But so they were in contact. My friend Isaac, he like jumped the fence first, and he took off, and then he called us later. "Hey, there's some seats over here. You know, jump the fence, meet me here." So we jumped the fence, and so we, you know, it's like levels, like in a video game. Okay, we got to the next level. And towards the end of the night, man, like towards the very end, finally, I think it was already the last song, their encore, Detroit Rock City, you know, I want to rock all night and party every day. My friend got to the front, and we were literally dead front center. Like the seats, there was like 6 seats dead front center that were empty. And I'm assuming somebody was there, because when we sat there, we ran, you know, got there and we sat there. Everybody was looking at us, and we even made eye contact, you know, with Gene Simmons, Pulse, you know, Pulse, everybody. Like they knew whose seats they were. We were just sat in there. Like I remember, I was like, oh, amazing. Like we made eye contact. Like they looked at us like, who the hell are these guys? And we stood there for the whole song, and then like as soon as the song was over, like we left. We knew they were gonna come, but we left. But we did it. Like we did it. That was a badass experience. So that was awesome. Let me see another concert or whatever. And me and my daughter, we did go to a Robert Plant and the Band of Joy concert. That was at the Greek Theater, but that was seats, and we basically sat on our seats the whole time. We took signs. It was fun because it was Robert Plant, so he was playing all the Led Zeppelin songs. So I knew every single song, and me and her were just having a ball singing along. But one of the next things I remember is a gig, and I did just comment on this on 1 million Cubs cards. He goes live every morning, and I mentioned this in the comments. For whatever reason, something came up. Oh, it was about knees. He had some jeans that had holes in the knees, and I told, like, man. So I'm gonna tell you what happened to me. Basically, is so we went to this Bad Brains gig at the Go-Go Whiskey in Hollywood, and it was all ages. So I went with my daughter. It was my daughter's idea, and she wanted me to take her. So we went to the Bad Brains. HJ, the leader, was, you know, gonna sing and all this. And I really didn't know who Bad Brains were. My daughter was in a punk band, and she was into punk back then. So there was a bunch of opening acts, and we went through all of them, and it was ska. It was basically a ska gig. I don't know if you know what ska is, SKA. Because I went with her to a couple of ska gigs. I also I forgot, I went to an event called Ska Wars, and I think it was Huntington Park. Ska Wars, same thing, bunch of ska bands. But it was like, people were dressed in Star Wars uniforms and stuff like that. But back to the one at the Go-Go Whiskey, it was all ages, so it was a bunch of kids, but we would do ska. And if you don't know ska, like, it was almost like punk and stuff, but it was a lot friendlier. And you kind of had like this dance where you just go around like this, and it was a little bit more friendlier than actual mosh pit. But it was like a friendly mosh pit, basically. I don't know how else to say it. And, I would go around with her, and we would do this, and then I would go to the bar and have a beer. So, man, there was probably only like 5 parents there. And, started talking to everybody. We'd get together, and every time a great song or whatever that my daughter liked, she would come get me. And then, we'd go into the little mosh pit and do the little ska dance, and it was fun. Man, but we were there forever, because there was like 100 bands before HR got up there, and then finally HR got up there. Man, by then I was blasted, but I was having a blast. But I was like, I remember, super drunk by then, and they started playing Institutionalized by Suicidal Tendencies. That was like their encore. And my daughter ran and got me, and then, man, we went in there, and when that song came on, the whole place jumped, and it became an actual mosh pit. Now for reals, people were throwing elbows and kicking and stuff, right? And me and my daughter got in there, and we were just like, having the greatest time of our life. And like I said, these were all ages. So there was 14 years old, 15 years old. So I was just knocking these kids on their asses. Like, I don't know. But I mean, I wasn't like effing them up, but I was just knocking them down. It was like, hey, yeah, what's up? And I'm going around, and then I got knocked down. I fell to the floor, and then I tried to get up, and I couldn't. I couldn't get up. I couldn't stand up, and I couldn't figure out why. But then, like, the mosh pit is just going fast, and people are running around and throwing elbows and kicking. And I was getting kicked in the head, in the back, and getting stepped on my legs, and people running over me, and I couldn't get up. And then a security guard comes and gets me. Security guard runs over there, and he stands me up, because that's what they would do. Anytime somebody would fall down, they would stop everybody and stand them up, but that was easy when it was the ska version. But by the time this version came on, and it was, suicidal tendency, it was like every man for themselves. So the guy like came, stood me up. He stood me up, and he started walking away, and I fell to the ground again. And I couldn't figure out, like, I don't know if I broke my leg. I couldn't stand up. So then another security guard, and both of the security guards grabbed me, and they stand me up, and they dragged me outside of the mosh pit, and they put me outside the mosh pit, and they're all like, "Can you stand up, buddy?" And I'm on one leg, and I was like, "I can't." And what had happened, this is how it goes back to the story of the cut on the knees of the pants. Is all right. So say this is my pants here, my pant leg, right? And I have a hole on the knee, right? So what happened is, I guess I got knocked down with such force, and the hole in my pants got so big and tight, like it went through my knee like this, and it got big. So what happened is that I couldn't open my leg. I couldn't open it back up. I got stuck like that. So that's why I couldn't get up and walk away or anything. But that was badass. It was a badass experience, man. Loved it. So that's my lame ass music stories and concert, experiences. But it was fun, man. It was fun. So everybody check out Raven Rips. I'll put the link below. Like I said, congratulations on 100 subs, man. And there you go. Love the hobby, people. Just keep collecting baseball cards forever, I said. Ciao.